Morning at 7:30 on this Thursday, Friday Eve, January 18th. Thanks for joining us for Breakfast with Bridgett. I'm your host, Bridgett Ellison. Hope you're keeping warm this morning. We're waking up cold once again today, but it shouldn't last for too long because we have another warm up and then another cool down, and that's just the way it's been going right now with the weather. And meteorologist Candace Campos has been keeping us informed as we've been going through this, and we're just waiting on her. She's in there doing a cut-in right now, but basically this is the time where you need to keep your cold gear handy. I mean, you've got the little space heaters, you got the boots. Today I've got the pleather leggings because I saw so many people with the pleather leggings on the other day, so I dusted mine off today before it warms up again because Candace, if you want to wear the pleather, you're running out of time.
Oh, it was funny because you were saying you were reading a story, and I looked at you. I was like, "That looks nice."
Oh, thank you.
You can pull that off. I can't pull that off. I cannot.
Yes, you could.
Oh no! Where did you go, Bridgett?
Bye. Take it away, Candace.
All right, let's talk about the weather forecast. Can I show you my new friend, Bridgett, real quick? It just stopped because I looked at him.
Uh-oh. It's so cute.
He's cute, right?
It looks like Wally.
It does. I have to think of a name, but fun story. I walked in and I was so excited to use this, and I placed it on my desk, and I made an announcement that if anyone needed to warm their hands in the studio, that I had a new warm friend. The moment I said that, Steve walked in, and he came with his big old industrial one. He's like, "Hey, guess what?"
You're like, "We're cold and we're not going to take it anymore."
Yeah. So you know what? It's been nice. It's been nice. It's cold here year round in the studio, but
that's true.
It's cold outside across Central Florida right now. A little warmer than yesterday, Bridgett, but still certainly layer necessary, at least for the next few hours. We will be warming up, though, as we head into your afternoon. So let's take it to the map, show you what's going on out and about. We're at 41 degrees right now in Marion County. We're at 46 in Daytona, 55 in Melbourne, 47 for you guys there in the Leesburg area. Now, as we take you here throughout the next few hours, now temperatures will be maxing out at about 72, 73 degrees, which is pretty typical for this time of the year. You can see rain chances for the most part. We're still looking good. Rain chances minimal. Then later on this evening, we do have a lot more cloud cover in place, so there will be that mention of an isolated sprinkle or two. But then as we head into your Friday, well, things will still be very warm, but we are watching the approach of our next cold front. I kind of Frankenstein this graphic a little bit because I want to show you the rain chances, right? I want to show you the clouds because that all plays a role in our forecast on Friday. But I also like the temperature contours on the bottom layer there. Really gives you an idea of how quickly temperatures, look at that. We go from yellow, orange, and then bam, a big old blue blob takes over Central Florida Saturday morning and Sunday morning as well. So we're really going to take a little chunk of that cold Arctic blast and send it right through Florida. So Saturday morning will be cold. We'll be into the 30s and 40s. So it will be a chilly, chilly start. But the more notable morning will be Sunday. So Sunday services, morning brunch. A lot of people like to do 5Ks and runs and walks and whatnot on Sunday mornings. Look at these wake-up temperatures. Marion County, these will be actual temperatures into the 20s. So that means that the freezing point there, freeze warnings will certainly be likely across especially our northern zones. As far south as the Villages and Leesburg, there's that chance of seeing near freezing temperatures. Now, closer to the I-4 corridor, wake-up temperatures still very cold in the mid-30s and then even the 40s there along the southern Brevard coast. So here's the kind of a graphic of one of our forecasts that looks at the potential for frost and freeze. So hard freeze can get as far south. Oops, well, I advanced it by accident. As far south as Gainesville, Ocala could see a freeze, and then areas highlighted there in that pink could be dealing with frost. So I put there frost and freeze advisories will be likely. And as you get results here throughout the next 7 days, temperatures low 70s today and tomorrow, which again is normal for this time of the year, then will drop off quickly. Temperatures are going to be dropping fast. Saturday morning, you can see overnight lows will be in the 40s, but then we'll drop down even further Sunday morning before temperatures really ramp up much warmer as we head into your Tuesday and Wednesday. So don't put away the flip-flops just yet. You'll still need them by Wednesday, but you'll be trading them out from your boots to your flip-flops pretty quickly in the next 7 days.
Yeah, that's a pretty sharp difference there once again. So we'll be ready. We'll be ready.
Take your vitamins because
Yeah.
everyone kind of starts falling by the wayside when you
Yeah.
start fluctuating temperatures. I mean, and I know we sit here and we complain about how cold it is. But at least we're not dealing with the crazy freezing rain and the sleet and the ice. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
the snow piling up everywhere. It's just the good news is our cold temperatures, although certainly dangerous for people who are going to be out, especially throughout the
Mhm.
overnight hours. There's no doubt about that. But at least road wise and getting to and from where you need to get to, we're going to be
Right.
okay. I
It's
think we'll
not
survive this
hazardous in
winter.
that way. That's
Ex-
good. Yeah.
exactly.
All righty, Candace. Well, thank you. I'll see you soon.
You're welcome.
All righty. Well, speaking of the roads, like she said, our weather not affecting the roads right now, so that's a good day on any day. And Trooper Steve is standing by in results one this morning, and it's a nice, cool morning once again. But like she said, we don't have issues from the weather today outside with the roads.
Do we ever need issues with the weather for
No,
the roads to be a
that just
mess?
makes it
Okay.
worse.
You're right, because people just come out and they don't use that extra sense of caution. So we are seeing some issues out there this morning, unfortunately, even though the weather is acting right for the roadways. We can jump right to traffic this morning because we do have some breaking news out there. So this is going to be 95. I told you earlier that there was a good chance that they would randomly shut this down, and that's exactly what's happening right now. So this is southbound lanes of I-95 right by State Road 407 in Brevard County. You can see they just shut down southbound lanes here. You can see crews out in the road out here taking some measurements. What this device is, this trooper here that I'm pointing the arrow at, is actually taking a measurement of a marking in the roadway from where this vehicle might have been last in the road before it went off. This is a fatal crash investigation, so unfortunately it does take some time to investigate this. So as you can see, they just opened a left travel lane. So if you're maybe even leaving the MIMS area this morning, you're going to run into some issues throughout this area. So anything north of here and you're headed southbound, do prepare, add some time just so you could deal with the slowdown without any problem. So again, southbound 95 right by State Road 407. Boggy Creek this morning, Narcoossee, Lake Nona, St. Cloud. I'm not surprised by this crash. I just wish they'd stop happening. Northbound Narcoossee right at Boggy Creek, we're seeing major delays, but look how backed up we are. I angled the
Mm,
map here. We're about a 4-mile delay right now northbound through this area. If you travel through this area, you already know it's all residential. Bridgett, this area has blown up. It is
mm-hmm.
crazy with the amount of development out here. So northbound super delayed right now. Your drive times on I-4 also high. Look at this Lake Mary drive time on the bottom of your screen. 44
Ooh.
minutes right now. Just went down to 41 because we do have a crash that's kind of close to State Road 50 downtown in the westbound
Mm.
lanes. Do have some lanes blocked out there. OPD road rangers out there cleared it up. Sky 6 was there a few minutes ago. Crashes out by the airport have been cleared out, so we're doing pretty good. Oviedo, good job this morning. Same thing, Winter Springs. Seminole County, for the most part, you guys behaved. There's a second part of that westbound slowdown out there, Bridgett. So as long as most people
Yeah.
just pay attention, we can avoid this stuff. But two big things. One, obviously, out there along 95, which is a fatal crash. We obviously know that takes hours to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Medical examiner is on scene, so hopefully they can clean this up as quick as possible. And then the Narcoossee crash. Outside of that, traffic-wise this morning, we're okay. I'm gonna just label it as maybe a yellow light today. We're not in the best shape,
Okay.
but it could be
Is that
worse.
is that that delay, that westbound delay out of Lake Mary toward downtown, is that to the point where you should go a different way?
Not yet. It's a 44-minute combined time. So if your intention is to get all the way downtown, if I give you an alternate, it's just going to add another 20 minutes to that anyway. So
Mm.
you do have the option of express lanes. If you want to slide into that, you'll bypass those delays completely.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. And you're headed off today to.
Daytona
Oh.
International Speedway. I have been looking forward to this shoot for weeks. Our amazing engineer, Tyler, a lot of people don't even understand what we have in this building when it comes to knowledge. Tyler is a genius, and he is fully responsible for building this truck, but he's also a previous employee of NASCAR and
Oh.
just a beast when it comes to technology. So he was like, Steve, would you be interested in doing a behind the scenes shoot with NASCAR? Yes.
Yeah.
My only rule, Bridget, was, and this is no offense to any of the drivers out there, I don't want to talk to any of the professional drivers. My focus, I want to know about the men and women that make NASCAR function and make it safe. So that's who the next 2 days, Bridget, I am, if you can't tell, I'm stoked. I am spending 2 days out there
This is something, yeah.
behind the scenes, yeah, with the pit crew, with the fire department response, with vehicle equipment installers, how such a dangerous sport can happen with an amazing crew. And we're going to be able to show you how this happens. So today at 8:30, I'm going to have Tara Evans, an executive producer with us, who's I call her my handler because she keeps me out of trouble. She's going to ride with me in the truck today at 8:30 as we drive up to Daytona. We'll talk about her. We'll talk about the shoots, all things patrol, just to have a little something. And then I'm going to spend the rest of the day in Daytona Beach.
That's going to be very nice. Well, and so can we, so this will be spread out. Are you going to put some pieces together for later too, or?
Yeah, so this is going to be a two-part story. We have the races that kick off in February. So it will be right around that time that we actually finish this up and get to show you a little bit of what the world's largest race, and a lot of people really don't realize the Daytona 500 is the largest single day most attended sporting event on the face of the planet. And I've had experience directing that traffic afterwards, and let's just say I'm excited that I get to show up before the race now.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Well, that's going to be so cool. We'll be looking for more with that. Thanks, Trooper Steve.
Yes, ma'am. So absolutely. You guys have a great day.
You too. Drive safe. All righty, so that's going to be something to look forward to. We want to do a little bit of news before we take a break. There's a story that's been developing. We've been following this out of Orange County with the Alpha Learning Center, and the state attorney just made a big decision on this. There was a child abuse investigation happening there. It's a private school, a local private school, but prosecutors say that a senior leader at the church associated with Alpha Learning Academy admitted to hitting some students with a belt, and the state attorney announced yesterday that that person will not face criminal charges. So here's Mark Lehman with more about how they came to that decision.
More than 2 months into a child abuse investigation at Alpha Learning Academy in Orlando, prosecutors say they're not moving forward with the case.
And it was determined that we could not file criminal charges against the pastor.
It was in November when parents told officers a pastor from the church that owns the school, St. Mark AME, lashed 16 students with a leather belt. After reviewing recent case law and Florida statutes, State Attorney Andrew Bain says there wasn't enough evidence to pursue charges.
Child abuse is required that we prove that there was some injury that was accomplished by the touching. In this case, we were only able to determine that there was some minor bruising.
Officers say they did find previous versions of the school's parent handbook that included corporal punishment as an alternative to home suspension. The provision, though, was not included in this year's handbook.
There was an older handbook that allowed for corporal punishment and a newer handbook where the language had been deleted.
And you can let us know what you think about this type of thing and this decision at clickorlando.com. Just click on the story and you can type in your thoughts in the comments section of the article. We'd like to hear from you. We're taking a quick break and we'll be right back with more news. Welcome back. This next story is one we've been following as well for several months now. For more than a year, we have heard complaints coming from different neighbors across Central Florida saying that crews that are out installing fiber lines are tearing up yards. And so now complaints are coming out of Orlando's Baldwin Park neighborhood area. And News 6's Treasure Roberts went out there to try to help get results and find out more answers for residents.
You take pride in your neighborhood and your home, right?
We do, especially because not only the community is beautiful, but we have built so many relationships in this community that we appreciate and love.
Eugenia Montiel says property upkeep is a priority in this HOA community. But over the past few weeks, neighbors say their spick and span lawns have been ruined. Hotwire Communications is installing fiber internet in the neighborhood street by street. That requires crews to dig up lawns to place cables. This is the aftermath in some areas. So you're just absolutely dreading them even coming to your street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were hired to do a job, okay, that's fine, do it. But if you are doing the job, you need to leave the area in the same condition you found it.
Some neighbors even complain they found chicken bones near the work sites.
You can tell that some of them would eat lunch, and instead of taking the trash away, they just leave it on the area.
A representative for Hotwire Communications says understandably construction can be very disruptive, adding residents don't have to foot the bill to fix their lawns. The representative says additional crews will fix damages within 30 days of the initial service.
We will need to know why 30 days, because you don't want to live in a house where your front is a mess or the grass is ripped.
Montiel worries the HOA will penalize residents if it's not fixed sooner.
If they don't fix it, then the homeowners are the one who's going to have to take the consequences and the cost of taking the property back to the way they found it.
All right, so that is the latest installment of what's happening with these fiber line installations, but obviously lots of complaints, and maybe you've heard about some where you live. So keep us posted if you have something happening near you as well. We want to give you an update on the Axiom launch plans. If you hadn't heard, yesterday it was called off with just a few hours left until launch time. They're hoping that today, the second chance will be the charm here as they try to get the latest all-private astronaut mission off the ground. Liftoff was set for yesterday, and the company said that they needed to do some more checks. So now it's been rescheduled to today at 4:49 p.m. But the four-person all-European crew is set to spend 2 weeks at the International Space Station researching microgravity. So when this launch happens, you will, of course, see it live on News 6, our website, clickorlando.com, and right here on News 6 Plus for your smart TVs. Also this morning, a very cool package from our Crystal Moyer. She's taking us to the Science Center, Orlando Science Center, and they're hosting an annual Science on Tap event for adults this weekend. But it's also family friendly because they're doing a unique fundraiser centered around a beer with no alcohol. And so it's a mix of science experiments, music, and games. So Crystal explains how this one local brewery is encouraging people to check out this alcohol-free alternative.
The event brings out dozens of Central Florida breweries and vendors, but not all are serving up alcoholic beverages. Here at Leader Brewing in Palm Bay, owner Max Green has non-alcoholic beer on tap and in cans.
Really into craft beer, been doing it for a long time, home brewing for 20 years. But about 6 years ago, I decided to take a break from drinking. Just didn't match the performance I wanted, but I missed having that craft beer experience. I missed the hops, I missed the roastiness.
So he started his own business in 2021, producing 3 non-alcoholic beers. By definition, meaning 0.5% or less alcoholic volume in his drinks.
So I've got hoppy, I've got malty, I've got roasty.
The names Danger Close, Night Strike, and Tracer Fire, an ode to his military background, serving 12 years in the Marine Corps.
And I wanted to kind of bring that to the forefront and really kind of showcase strength in non-alcoholic beer. There's a lot of stigma out there about people being weak if they decide to go to non-alcoholic beverages.
Leader Brewing, one of dozens of Central Florida breweries participating in the Science on Tap event. Proceeds benefiting community education programs organized by the Orlando Science Center. This year's family-friendly event has lawn games, music, face painting, and hands-on science activities for kids and adults.
Beer making is in itself science. A lot of the early biochemistry work done by Louis Pasteur was because he was trying to help a brewery figure out what made brewing work.
Green showing me the process.
We've got water, malted barley. Sometimes we'll add wheat or oats to the recipe.
Okay.
Hops, and then adding yeast in at the very end.
So what makes something a regular alcoholic beer versus a non-alcoholic beer? What's different with the process?
I'm doing the same thing that a regular brewer does, except they're trying to get as much ethanol out of the mixture as they can. I'm trying to get as little ethanol out of the mixture.
Green saying his recipe and balancing act of ingredients make his brews taste just like alcoholic beer. You can check out Leader Brewing at Science on Tap, supporting the Orlando Science Center on Saturday at Lock Haven Park. It's a family-friendly event, and I posted ticketing information on clickorlando.com/insider. In the studio, Crystal Moyer, getting results, News 6.
That is very, very cool. Thank you, Crystal. And while you're on Insider, make sure you enter to win for some of those contests, because we do have several giveaways going on, and many of them you enter as many times as you want to win. I know today some headphones, some very high-tech, latest technology headphones are being given away. So check that out while you're online. A big honor for a local athlete we want to share with you. News 6 was at Trinity Prep east of Winter Park yesterday as the Making a Difference on and off the field campaign surprised this young man, David Hull. Now, not only is he a basketball and lacrosse player, he's also known for his volunteer work, including mentoring younger students. And as part of his reward, he was given tickets to a sporting event and a check for a charity of his choice. So congrats to him. I'm sure that is just, one of several awards and special recognitions that he will get as he makes his way through school, and looks like a future leader, sounds like a future leader. He also thanked his parents and attributed his well-roundedness to both his mother and father, and talked about their character as well. So that was really sweet. So we have a special interview we want to tell you about that features someone you probably recognize. If you remember American Idol from the very beginning, you know the name Clay Aiken. So more than 20 years since the premiere of American Idol, the two Idol favorites, you remember Ruben Studdard and Clay Aiken, they're bringing their reunion tour back on the road, and they're coming to Central Florida. So Ruben was the second Idol winner, and runner-up Clay Aiken, they're on this tour that they call 20 The Tour, and they're going to be in the Villages. So mark your calendars for that. News 6 producer and Setting the Stage newsletter producer Brooke Savage talked to Clay Aiken about what viewers and guests can expect from their tour.
We're telling the stories of what it was like to be on the show in 2003, backstage secret, that type of stuff. And I think what made Idol such a hit from the beginning was that it was music that people could sing along to, We talk about working with Lamont Dozier and Olivia Newton-John and Robin Gibb and Smokey Robinson, and we sing some of their music. So it's all music that is part of the American songbook from the last 50 years, stuff that people know and can sing along to and dance to. And enjoy, and we really try to transport people back to 2003.
That's going to be awesome. I think that Clay and Ruben are just so likable, and I just love the sound of their voices. So that concert is Wednesday, July 31st at the Sharon Morse Performing Arts Center in the Villages. So make sure you mark your calendars for that Wednesday, July 31st. And remember, you can get all the latest concert and arts news by signing up for the Setting the Stage newsletter. And Brooke puts that out every other Friday, so you can always stay up to date on a lot of the arts and entertainment that's happening around the area. And it's free to sign up for all of our newsletters. Go to clickorlando.com/newsletters, and you could pick out the ones that interest you the most. For instance, In the Loop Theme Park Scoops with Landon McReynolds, that is coming out tomorrow, and he'll be on Breakfast with Bridgett tomorrow to tell us about a story that will be a follow-up, a very positive follow-up, but right now it hasn't been released yet, so we can't tell you exactly what it is, but he has some really exciting news with his newsletter, and he'll join us live to talk about that. We also will have our Corey Murray, photojournalist and host of Black Men Sunday podcast, joining us tomorrow to talk about his upcoming podcast on this Sunday. And then next week, we will let you know about the Zora Fest. We'll have a special guest with us next week talking to us about that, because it's that time of year again as well. So lots happening. Always plenty to do around here, and we'll try to keep you updated right here on News 6 Plus, clickorlando.com, and News 6. That's going to do it for us this morning. We'll see you bright and early Friday morning at 7:30. Have a great day.